If you're a Knicks fan, it makes you scratch your head. You're watching a New York Knicks team that nobody expected to be where they are today. Jalen Brunson, which every single analyst that we have had on the Sports Loudmouths the last 7 months told us that Jalen Brunson was overpaid and he was going to be an absolute bust for the New York Knicks. And everybody that took shots at the Knicks, how bad their offseason was, why didn't they go after Donovan Mitchell? They absolutely slam dunked Jalen Brunson. They gave Mitchell Robinson an extension. It was a good extension. If he could stay on the court, he's one of the best big men in the league. R.J. Barrett's contract was an affordable, good contract for the New York Knicks. You look at the Knicks right now, they're 9 games over 500. They're playing great basketball. The last couple of games, they haven't looked good, and that has a lot to do with Jalen Brunson's injury. Emmanuel quickly could be the 6th man of the year. Another good get by Rose and Worldwide Wes. You look at this team right now, there's nothing bad to say. And where they are as a 5th seed is extraordinary. Great coaching for Tom Thibodeau. He could be up for Coach of the Year this year. A top 10 defense again, a top 10 offense. They have one of the best benches in the league. But the fact right now is Jalen Brunson is not healthy. He hasn't been healthy for the last 4 weeks. And you see what the Knicks are when he is not on the court. They are not the same New York Knicks team when he is not playing at full strength. Even against Miami, he didn't look like he was at full strength. Then he hurts his wrist, and he could be out for the rest of the regular season. He might be ready for the playoffs. A wrist injury is a significant injury, just like a high ankle sprain, especially when it's a shooting hand. But this has been an ailing problem for the Knicks for over 25 years. They finally get good players. Carmelo Anthony can't stay healthy. Amari Stoudemire can't stay healthy. Allen Houston couldn't stay healthy. Larry Johnson couldn't stay healthy. Every single player for years that they brought on this New York Knicks team has been an absolute injury-prone player.
And you look at what we said about 2 weeks ago. The Knicks have to do everything they can to hold him out as long as possible, and they did the exact opposite. They brought him back against Denver. He played the 3 games, and then he gets hurt again with a different injury, and an injury that is not ideal for a guy that ball handles as well as he does. Like you said, his shooting hand, definitely not ideal for a guy that's having a career year when it comes to both three-point percentage and three-pointers made. And the Knicks are definitely a different offense for 2 things that Jalen Brunson has brought to them this year that the Knicks did not have last year, and that is efficiency and spacing. And Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, both extremely inefficient last season, have been much more efficient this season. Now, Julius Randle still has had moments where he still is the quote-unquote bricklayer, and he'll shoot the Knicks out of games in the fourth quarter. R.J. Barrett's had those moments in the beginning of the season, but he's gotten a little better with that now. But is still much better with Jalen Brunson on the court because R.J. Barrett, the problem with him sometimes is he takes some shots that aren't smart. And Jalen Brunson sets him up for shots that are much smarter, and that's a big deal. Now, Emmanuel quickly still played well, even with Brunson hurt at certain points, but you're taking on a role that's a little different for him. He's the 6th man of the year for other reasons, and you want him in that role. So it's a brutal injury the way it happened for Jalen Brunson again, and it just shows that the Knicks should have been able to hold him out. Now that they're a lot further away from the 4 seed and getting home court advantage, they have to do everything they can to make sure that he's healthy, ready to go.
I think the Knicks are better off falling to the 6th seed.
Yeah,
and being matched against the 76ers than being matched against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. It makes a lot of sense for the Knicks to start losing and falling into that 6th spot. But the Knicks aren't going to try to lose in the last couple of games of the season. They're going to try to win as many as they possibly can to get themselves into home court advantage. Ben Simmons out indefinitely, back injury, diagnosed with nerve impingement. What does that tell you for you Net fans? It means he's probably out for the rest of the season. Whenever you hear nerve impingement, means this man is not going to be playing for the rest of the season. This is a guy that's had back problems since he's come into this league. He's had knee problems since he's come into this league and ankle problems. This man cannot stay healthy. You're paying him $36 million to be your number 1 guy, and this guy can't stay on a damn basketball court. It's an absolute joke.
And this guy has also had issues with maturity, too.
That whole organization is immature. Bunch of clowns.
That's not going to bode well for somebody that is trying to work back from an injury, too. And you want him to be able to heal and be able to do it well, and for a guy that's you're supposed to be your number 1 option. Now, Mikal Bridges has played well since he's come over from the Suns in that trade, but again, are you going to trust him to be a number 1 option? Are you going to trust Cam Johnson? Are you going to trust any of these guys? And you're definitely not going to trust any of these draft picks right now. The Nets will have to rebuild badly because you can't trust Ben Simmons to be your number 1 option. Who says he doesn't have these injury issues next season?